Hey, happy Saturday, all! I was feeling in a colorful mood, so I thought I'd get on here and just chat a while. Had some things going on lately that have been especially fun. You know, you ever run into somebody that you haven't seen in a long, long while, and it seems like you've not been apart for a moment, and then you start talking about things that you shared, some experiences that you shared together, and you end up laughing the entire time? Well, I just had one of those experiences, and I thought I'd share it with you. It took place at a business, or our employer put on a great big shindig for all of us. And she and I had decided to carpool, so we picked up another one of our friends and went to the, it was like a big barbecue picnic, thank you for all of your hard work kind of a thing. And they had it there at our place of employment because it was, when I worked there, it's quite large, and they have their own picnic area and sports courts and the whole big. Well, anyway, they have, the building itself is up high, and then they have all the parking down below. And we got there while the most of the traffic was. We were trying to avoid it, but she had to stop and get a wine cooler or something. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, we finally get to the venue, and we go in. We spend time with all of our friends, and they've got music, and they've got prizes that you could win, and they had food coming out here because Zuzu. I mean, they put on a good show, and we felt appreciated, that's for sure. Anyway, we had a few more wine coolers, and then we got an urge to go disco dancing. So we were going to go rush home and get changed. So here we go, traipsing back to the building and go to walk into the underground parking garage. And as we're nearing the parking garage, she looked at me and I looked at her like, oh my God, which one do we park in? So we start trekking along, and, you know, this is like a mile's worth of parking garages. So we're trekking around in our drunken stupor, trying to find this parking garage that we were in. And along the way, we encountered some of those directional devices. You know, those things that are on the sawhorses to try to direct people to certain parts or keep them away from going to certain parts? Well, they were these big flashing lights. And every time one of them flashed on and off, we thought, oh, wow, this is great. We can get warmed up for the disco dancing here. So we're standing there for a minute, still confused about where our car was, and my friend decides she wants one of those flashing lights. So I'm like, oh my God, I can hardly stand up to see ahead of me to walk. What do you mean you want one of those flashing things? Come on, you're going to get us in trouble. So she proceeds to pull out a nail file of all things and starts unscrewing this flashing light. Well, I was her partner in crime. So I stood watch, I was watching to make sure that nobody came while we were doing this. And so here she is fumbling with this nail file, and she finally gets it unhooked and everything. And about that time, one of the security guards in the little scooter mobile came around the corner. So I said, hurry up, put it down, there's somebody coming, he's security. She goes, no, I want it. I said, well, your purse is not big enough to put it in. She goes, well, I'll just put it under my shirt. So she puts this flashing light up under her shirt, and about the time the security guard came to where we were. And he just kind of looked at us like, what is up with that? And he says, are you ladies needing any help? And she goes, oh, no, officer, we're doing fine, And all the while she's standing there, this flashing light is flashing to her t-shirt. Oh my God. Well, the security guard drove on, she grabbed the light tighter, and we went to the car. We finally found the car. And she got her flashing light. She's such a nut. But we got along famously, so it was a perfect story. Again, another one of those deja vu kind of moments involved attending a concert at one of the colleges here in San Antonio. And the venue was quite, shall I say, not as large as some of the arenas, but it was perfect for the artist. I went to see Janice Ian, who was and still is one of my favorite songwriters and musicians. I mean, I just absolutely love her and grew up with her, so that's the special affinity I still feel for her. Anyway, I was meeting my friends there at the venue, and I was bringing my own car this time, and they had told me, again, with the parking garage thing, up under the campus itself, and it's a convocation center, but they use it for small venue concerts and things. Anyway, they said to park up under there, the car would be secure, I wouldn't have to worry because I was there by myself, and that I could just go in the side door, go up the stairs, and I would be right there at the main entrance of it. And I already had my ticket, so, I wasn't worried about that. So I did everything that they told me, and eventually made it up to the front door, and they were there waiting for me, and we went in for the concert. And it was better than my heart could have ever imagined. enjoyed every second of it. But as time grew later, she still hadn't sang my favorite song. Sorry, Muffy Puppy was banging at the door to come in, and it was getting a little bit nerve-wracking. Anyway, to make a long story even longer, she had not played my favorite song yet at 17. But I had promised my mom that I would be home early that evening, so I had decided that I would take my French leave and tell my friends that I was going to go ahead and take off. And, you know, having parked in the secure parking garage, I wasn't afraid to go down there by myself. And they knew my disappointment, and they said that they'd be thinking of me when she came out and did that song. So I went down through the front lobby where I had come in and went through a door to go down to the parking garage. Well, I had no problem getting to the parking garage. I mean, it was pretty easy. Upstairs, downstairs, parking garage. Well, as I get there, I noticed that they have all the entrances blocked off while the concert's going on. You know, security. So I thought, oh, well, yeah, that's a likely story for my mom, so I could go back and enjoy the rest of the concert. So I went in. I had to go to the other side of the kind of like concourse thing and go in a door, which was taking me upstairs, and it looked exactly like the door I had just come out, so, you know, I wasn't concerned about it. So as I am going up the stairs, I'm noticing that the music is getting louder and louder and louder, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really cool. This probably will take me to a part of the concert hall that I'll get a better view. I'll be able to see closer, and then I'll go find my friends as soon as I've gotten to enjoy the concert for a little bit longer. Well, I keep step by step getting louder and louder and louder, and about that time, what should start playing but at 17, my favorite song. So, you know, it was like following the rainbow or whatever, the yellow brick road. I kept going up and up and up these stairs because the music, you know, my favorite song, I wanted to be as close as I possibly could to other people to enjoy it with them too. And so I get to the top of the stairs and I notice it's really dark up there, and so I started to panic a little bit. And then my eyes started to focus, and I realized that this staircase took me up to behind the stage. There I am, standing in the wings, looking straight at Janice Ian as she's doing my favorite song. Needless to say, I was to the moon. I'm floating on air. I had just had one of those oh my God moments. You know, I can't make this stuff up because it happens all the time. But that turned out to be one of my favorite concerts of all. I've already talked about The Who and my adventures with them, but this was a really personal moment with Janice Ian and the music that I grew up with. And that story still makes my heart flutter. So, hey, wow. What can I say?